This is page 44 in your math journal. Make sure you give it the label, and we're going to title this Integers and Number Lines. All right, first of all, we're going to talk about positive numbers. So positive means above 0 or greater than 0. Let's write above or greater than 0. Maybe we should write 0 over here in parentheses. Okay. Negative numbers are less than 0. So negative means below or less than 0. Now notice here, it's positive is bigger than 0, negative is less than 0, so what would that make 0? Is 0 a negative or a positive number? 0 is actually neutral, because 0 can't be more than itself or less than itself. Any other number that either has a positive value or a negative value. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about are integers. Okay, an integer is a positive or negative number number that can be written without a fraction or decimal. That can be written without a fraction or decimal point. In other words, there are no pieces to these numbers. I like to call them the pretty numbers. They're the ones that we like working with because we don't have to deal with decimals or fractions. Now, can they be written as a decimal or fraction? Yeah, I can write 5 as just 5. Let's do some examples here. So 5 would be an integer. Negative 2 would be an integer. Negative 7 would be an integer. How about 1.5? No. Or negative 3 1/3. No, because these ones, I can't write that value without a decimal. Yes, 5 I could write. That looks like got a negative in front of it. Let's make that 25 just so we don't think it's a negative. Now, I could write 25 without a decimal. I could even write it with a decimal if I wanted. I could write 25.0. But that can still be written without a decimal or fraction. That's how we know integers. So they're negative, but they can be negative or positive or 0 for that matter. So 0 is also an integer. It means I have no pieces. I have nothing at all, but I also have no pieces. So last one is opposite. Okay, in mathematics, the opposite means has the opposite sign. So, example, 4 and negative 4 are opposites. 2 and negative 2 are opposites. Negative 5.2 and 5.2 would be opposites. All right, now how do we put these on a number line? You guys are mostly used to drawing number lines starting at 0. Well, the difference is here we're not starting at 0. We're going to put 0 right in the middle. Now, 1 unit above 0 would be positive 1. 2 units above 0 would be positive 2. 3, 4, 5, and so on. We put an arrow here because that number line keeps continuing. But it doesn't start at 0. We can go below 0. So if I go 1 unit below 0, now I'm getting into my negative numbers. So this would be negative 1. 1 unit below 0. 2 units below 0 would be negative 2. 3 units below 0, negative 3. Negative 4. Negative 5. And so on. Now, where would we use negative numbers in real life? There are some places you can't have negatives. We can't have negative people on a bus. We can't have negative cookies in a jar. But there are a lot of situations where negatives are useful. An example you guys use on a daily basis is temperature. So, if I am 5 degrees below 0, what integer would I use to represent that? Okay, that would be negative 5. I'm 5 units below where 0 degrees would be. Money is also another daily thing we use it. If I owe someone $10, then that would be negative $10. Okay, if I receive $10, or let's say receive $28. Now that money is coming into my hands. I have that. That would be a positive 28. So if I asked you to compare these, I'm going to write a bunch of numbers, and I want you to write them in order from least to greatest. So write these integers from least to greatest. Say negative 7, positive 4, 0, negative 3, negative 28, and 110. Okay, we have a bunch of integers. How do we know which one is the smallest? Okay, well, first of all, negative numbers are always smaller than positive ones. Let's write that here with a star by it. Negative numbers are always, let's put that in all caps, always less than positive numbers. I would always rather have a whole dollar than owe somebody $20. So looking back at these integers we wrote, negative 7, 4, 0, negative 3, negative 28, and 110. I think in money. What would I want the least? Well, would I rather think below 0? Would I rather owe somebody $7, owe somebody $3, or owe somebody $28? Even though this might seem larger, it's a larger debt. So it's going to have the least worth to me. Negative 28 is the smallest of these numbers. Okay, next would be negative 7. Then negative 4. As these are going up, if this was money, this is what I'd least likely to want. Then this, then this. 0 is better because, well, at least I don't owe anybody any money. But now, from here, I know you guys know how to order positive numbers. So 4, and then 110. So, the farther away from 0 you are, the smaller your number is, no matter how big it might seem. This just tells me that it's that far below 0.